everyone, welcome back to Ginatopia. Well, today I am doing declutters of my palettes, and I've got Miss Bella over here. Let me see if I can get her here to show you. There's my baby. There's Mommy's baby. Yeah, so let me get things situated. I have removed everything from the drawer in my dresser behind me and put it in this box right here, since that dresser drawer is so hard to pull out and I normally don't get to see everything in it, so it doesn't get used. I've got two boxes here, one for things that is brand new that I can put into giveaways, and one that will go for my friends and family to go through. And Sarah has already said she gets first dibs. So Miss Bella's going to sit here in my way probably, but let's just get this video started. It's probably going to be a 2 or 3-parter. I don't want to make it too awful long each part, so I'm going to try to do it as fast as I can. So let's just go through this box first. And this is a lot of smaller palettes. Some of them are high-end, some of them are drugstore. So let me pull this drawer out. And Miss Bells, can you get right there, baby? Thank you, sweetheart. So let me just start going through this drawer, or the things that was in that drawer. And here it is. So, yeah. So, now my husband's waving at me. He's he's outside on the deck. So the first thing I see, and Miss Bella's already telling me she's wanting her treats. So let me give her some treats and get her down to start with. So there you go, baby. So let's just get started with these. The first thing I see is a Party Purple palette by e.l.f. It's brand spanking new. I'm going to put this into my giveaway box. The next one I got specifically for giveaways. This is by Pacifica. This is the Beach Crystals palette. It has never been opened. I take it out of the box to look at, but I didn't open it up, and I can't get it out now. But that is by Pacifica, and that's going into the giveaway box. Here is a Wet n Wild palette called Art of the Streets. I used this palette once, and I didn't find it had much pigmentation to it. I thought that the colors just didn't give me what I was looking for. Of course, right there, it's swatching pretty daggone good. But I still think I'm going to get rid of that. Let me get some wipes out here right now, because I know I'm going to need those. Here is a BYS palette that I bought and have never used, but I have so many brown shades that I'm sure one of my friends can use that palette. Here is a palette that I bought for Susan Anthony and had misplaced it and found it in the back of that drawer. It is greens, and she and I both are green lovers. So that goes to Susan Anthony. It's brand spanking new. Bought that for her, and didn't know what I had done with it. Now, I did get this palette out of my luggage because this I do keep packed. It is an Estee Lauder palette. It has 12 eyeshadows and 2 blushes, and it has really only been used a few times, but I do like to keep that in my luggage just in case I have forgotten anything. So I am going to keep that one in there. So I'm going to pull that out of here and keep that in there. Here is a Wet n Wild Comfort Zone. This is like the OG of Wet n Wild shadows. I have never really used this other than color swatching it. And I know they have come out with a 10-pan palette now, but until I get that one, I'm going to keep that, and Miss Bells is back. Here is a Still Up empty palette, and I had put 2 green shades in it. One is by Sephora, and the other one is by, who is that one by? Urban Decay. I'm going to keep this and put some more colors in that. No, you can't have any more. Here's a glitter palette by BYS. Bella, no. Lay down. with Halloween coming up, I'm going to keep that because anybody who knows me knows my theme is there's not enough glitter in the world. I'm going to keep that one. Here is an e.l.f. palette by Kristen, of a collab with Kristen Siriano. I need to get a video done. I'm supposed to be doing a collab with Courtney KH, so I need to get that filmed this week. So keeping that palette. Here is Urban Decay's Naked Petite Heat. I love this palette. I always open up the wrong end of that. No matter which side I think is right, I always open up the wrong end. I love this little palette. Look how pretty that packaging is. I love that. This is so cute. Perfect for travel. It has got just, I love it. These are $29. I love it. If you're looking for a cute palette and you didn't want to get the big naked palette, this is beautiful. I love that. Look at those colors. It's all mattes. Love it. Keeping that one. So next, here is an Urban Decay Naked 2 Basics. I love this. Every time I travel, that goes with me. I have really used the heck out of that. And keeping that, and we'll replace that when it gets used up because I really do love that palette. Here is a Bare Minerals Posh Neutrals that I bought. Paid too much money for it. When I had first seen the one that I wanted, I didn't get it. I wished I had it. When I went back, they told me that this was it. It was not. I specifically wanted it for one peach shade. That is not the peach shade that I saw. And my Ulta Beauty is an hour away, and it was too late for me to take it back. But I'm going to keep it because I spent a lot of money on that, and I want to get some use out of it before I do away with that. So I'm hoping by getting rid of at least 25% of what I own right now, that I will get some use of some more of these products. So my goal is getting rid of 25%. So at the end of this video, I'm hoping 25% of it's gone. Here is a Lancome palette that I bought. I paid $50 for it. I definitely did not get enough use out of it. I put it in a declutter, got it back out. I still didn't get enough use out of it, so that palette is gone. Here is a Max Factor eyeshadow. This has not even been color swatched, so I can put that into my giveaway box. Here is an LA Colors in the shade Jaded. This is beautiful. I have another one of these that I panned or depotted. That is a beautiful, beautiful pigmented shade. I'm going to put that into my giveaway box. Here is a palette that I bought to do a look with for $1, and I never used it, but it has been opened, so I'm going to put that in my friend's box. Here is a glitter palette from Claire's. Oh, with Halloween coming up, I really hate to get rid of that, but let me put that in a maybe pile. Okay, let's see. Here is a Nomad Color La Habana Cohiba. It's never been opened. It is cruelty free. I'm going to put that into my giveaway box. Here are 3 loose eyeshadows. One is in gold, pink, and purple. I bought these to do a fairy look with. I never used them. I'm going to put these in a box for my friends. Goodness. Here is an Avon eyeshadow palette. This one is in Gilded Metallics. I'm going to keep this one. This was like the one I bought. Susan Anthony. I love that palette. Here is another Avon eyeshadow palette. This one is in the shades Emerald Cut. I think I'm going to get rid of that one. I've really got a lot of use out of that. I panned one and got a lot of use out of the other, so I think I'm going to put that in my friend's box, even though it's greens, and I hate to get rid of greens. Here is a Suvia single that came in one of my boxes. It's brand spanking new. I'm going to put that in my giveaway box. Here is an Avon palette that I just recently purchased. Ella, quit knocking things off. It is brand new. I've not even tried it. I'm going to keep that one. Here is a Wet n Wild in the shade Nutty, brand new. I'm going to put that in my giveaway box. Here is a Bare Minerals, and I'm trying to be cutthroat here. That's the reason I'm trying to do fast decisions. I'm trying to do it. Here is what Bare Minerals. This is in the shades Magic Touch and Presto and Flicker. Let's try these. Let's see. 2 clean fingers. Ooh, those are pretty. Oh man, those are so pretty. But I think I'm going to get rid of that one. I like Bare Minerals. Here is another Bare Minerals. And this is in the shades Stealth, Predator, Goddess, and Daring. Those are beautiful. That gold shade is gorgeous. Look at that next to that other one. Oh man, that is beautiful. But I've got a gold shade, and I think the palette here by Marc Jacobs. Let me look. Yes. It's a different gold. But I've got a gold in my Marc Jacobs palette, and I'm not getting rid of Marc Jacobs. So I'm going to get rid of the Bare Minerals palette. That was an expensive palette. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that one. Here is an Ulta Beauty palette that has never been touched. It's really pretty, but it's brand spanking new, so I'm going to put that in my giveaway box. Here is a new one from Ulta Beauty that I just got, and it's really, really pretty. That shade lineup right there would be beautiful fall look. That is beautiful. But I'm going to put it in my giveaway box. Here is a City Mini palette that I recently got in my Giselle box, and it is a lot like, I don't know what fell over there. It's a lot like my Lemonade Craze palette, and I know I'm keeping my Lemonade Craze palette, so knowing I'm keeping Lemonade Craze, I'm going to get rid of the City Mini palette, and it's brand new, so I can put that in my giveaway box, because I'm keeping my Lemonade Craze. Okay, let me get a wipe here and wipe my hands off a little bit, because I love that Lemonade Craze. My niece Erica got me Lemonade Craze, so I'm keeping those. Alright, now let's see. What have we got here? Here is a Smashbox in the shade Golden Air, Cover Shot Golden Hour. And 2 of the shades are Busted. It's pretty, even though, but I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of that one. Here is an eyeshadow palette. It's the Tartelette Tease, and I made myself use it once, and I wished I hadn't. It was, I don't like it. I normally love Tarte eyeshadows, but I do not like this palette. I don't know what it is about it. I just don't like this palette. It was a waste of my time, a waste of my money for me. And I'm going to put that in the spring giveaway box. I don't know what it is about it that I don't like about that palette, but I just don't like it. So that's going in my spring giveaway box. Now this is the Dear Diary series Sunset Kiss palette. I have been doing some collabs with friends with this palette, and this copper shade down here is just beautiful. So I'm keeping that palette right now. And Miss Bella is in my way. Once again, Miss Belle's. Here is the Wet n Wild Roses in the Air. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Modern Renaissance palette. I've not even opened it up yet, but I want to keep that because I want to do a look with a look. I know a lot of people have done it, but I want to do it just for me. So I'm going to keep that palette. Here are 2 of my favorite palettes. I know there's a lot of controversy around Kat Von D right now. I might not agree with the lady, but she can make a good eyeshadow, so I am keeping that. Look at the packaging. That is just adorable. So, so cute. This is the Sage, and you know I am a green freak, so this palette is going nowhere, and I have got a lot of use out of that palette, and I'm keeping it. Love that. I wish somebody would come out with a really good green eyeshadow palette. There are so many people who would love a really good green eyeshadow palette, and there just is not a really good green eyeshadow palette on the market. Do you hear me, Urban Decay? Do you hear me, Kat Von D? Do you hear me? Anybody out there? And this is the Plum Kat Von D palette. Not getting rid of that one. I love that. So, keeping those two. Now, here is one that I can get rid of. This is the LA Colors Plums 18 color Glam palette. You can get rid of that one. Here is an e.l.f. This is the Matte for Matte palette for $10. I think what these palettes cost. These are a really good palette, and if you're a beginner and don't want to spend the money on a high dollar palette, these are a really good palette you can get at your big box store. I highly recommend them. They're really creamy and pigmented, and you can get some really pretty eye looks out of those. So I do highly recommend these e.l.f. palettes. So I'm keeping that palette for a good drugstore palette. And this is my Buxom Dolly's Wild Side palette. And the only reason I'm getting rid of this palette is I'm giving this one to my mother. I did her eye look for her recent high school reunion with this, and her eye look was beautiful, and she loved it. And I tried to get her to take it that night, and she wouldn't. But I'm going to give this to Mom. And if she decides she don't want it, then I want it back because I love this palette. It is beautiful. Beautiful. So that goes to Mom. Here is an e.l.f. palette that was given to me by my friend Susan Anthony. This is called Posh Peacock, and it has got some greens that make a beautiful, beautiful eye look, and I love it, and not getting rid of that because I love it. And thank you, Susan. I love that palette. Here is the Moonstruck Addiction palette number 2 by Unique. I have not got to use this palette yet. I'm going to do a collab with my sweet friend Courtney KH with this palette, and I need to get that done this week, and that's what it looks like. Now, on the other hand, this palette I did in a collab with Courtney KH, and I don't like it. It is the Moonstruck Addiction palette but number 4 by Unique, and I don't like it at all, and it is going bye-bye. That will be going to my niece Erica because she has been wanting to try that formula. So I did pretty good. I added a palette in this box. I added the Lemonade palette to this box, but I did really good at clearing this box out because I had a lot of stuff piled up on top of that. So did really good cleaning that box out. Now, next over here, let me grab these palettes. I have the Pure Soiree Diaries that came into a BoxyCharm, and I had looked at this palette before I knew it was coming in BoxyCharm, and I thought it was really pretty. These shades down here on the bottom are just gorgeous, and I love that, so I'm not getting rid of that palette. Nor am I getting rid of my original Carly Bible palette because I think this palette is beautiful. You have, look at those, how pretty. You have your 10 eyeshadow shades, and you have your 3 highlighter shades, and I think it's beautiful, and loving it, and not getting rid of that palette either. Now let me get these palettes over here, and let's out of this little container that I got from my Family Dollar store, and it is just a perfect little container. It was you know, you've seen those lucite frames. Well, it had lucite frames in it, and they had been $1 a piece, and they went on sale for 50 cents a piece, and it had 12 in it. And I asked the manager, I said, if I buy all 12 of the frames, can I have the display? And he said, sure. So when the cashier rung me up, I said, I don't even want those frames. I said, if you want any of them, you can have them. Well, she took half of them. And I just got rid of the rest of them. I didn't want them. But the little stand that the lucite frames was in was definitely worth $6. So if you're in your Family Dollar, or maybe I checked your Dollar General may have these too, check it out, because this was definitely worth $6 to hold my larger palettes. So let me put this back over here. Just thought I would share that with you. The first palette in there is my Alamar palette, and I have one to give away, and my niece Erica got me another one, because after I decided I wanted to give it away, Erica come up and said, well, do you want one? And I'm like, yes, I want one. I regretted saying that I was going to give mine away, so Erica got a hold of another one from someone that didn't want one, so luckily I got an Alamar palette. So there's my Alamar palette. Here is a NYX Happy Birthday palette. These were a limited edition. These were a birthday gift from Ulta last year. I missed my birthday gift this year. Somehow I didn't get the email. But it's a beautiful palette, but it looks a lot like the Mario palette. So I think I'm going to put this in my friend's box. And here is my Tartlet in Bloom palette. And I love this palette. Smells like vanilla. Smells so good. If you're looking for an all matte palette, this is absolutely beautiful. I love the way it smells. And I really got this just about 8 months ago, and I have got a lot of use out of it. I love this I love this palette, and that palette's not going anywhere. So let's put the baby back in the stand. Now here is a Too Faced palette that my niece Sarah had given me, but I don't use it a whole lot, so I think that baby can find another home. It's had a lot of use in it, but I think it can find a better home. So I'm going to put that into my friend's giveaway box. Now Pixie, it's Judy Time palette. This is a really good palette. These colors are so beautiful, and I love the looks that I get out of it. It's a beautiful palette. These two shades right here I had busted, and I had to put those, crunch them up with alcohol and redo them. But they still work beautifully, even after they have been, I don't know if you can see that on my arm or not, but even after they have been crushed, they work beautifully. And I love this palette. I love the looks I get out of that palette. So that's not going anywhere. It's a really economical palette. I think it was only like $20. So yeah, I'm going to keep that palette too. Let's see here. Morphe palette. This is the 35p palette. I ordered this when I ordered my Jaclyn Hill palette. And I think I've used it about as much as I've used my Jaclyn Hill palette. And it's beautiful. I just don't use it. I think when I look at a palette that's got this many colors in it, I'm just overwhelmed. And I don't know. I just don't like that many choices. So there's the color pigmentation on it. It's beautiful. It's just, yeah, I think I'm going to get rid of that one. Getting rid of that Morphe palette. And speaking of Jaclyn Hill, Jaclyn, you're gone too. I never did like you. I'm sorry. Didn't like the palette, not her. This is the only large palette that I have that I really like. This was given to me by Susan This was given to me by Susan Dotson, and this palette is beautiful. I guess because the way it's laid out is just the reason I like this one so much. And I get beautiful looks out of this palette, and I love it. This palette I love. The other palettes, I guess when I look at them, there's too many colors that are the same. I don't know. I just don't like it. I love this palette, and I'm keeping that palette. So, not getting rid of that one. Here is my Too Faced Natural Love palette. Now, I've been on the fence about this palette. My niece Sarah really wants this palette. I'm going to keep it through this declutter. Her daughter got a hold of it and put some big nicks in it. I'm going to keep it through this declutter, and if I don't get any use out of it, then I will give it to Sarah. But I'm going to keep it through this declutter. Yeah, I think so. Let's put this in my maybe pile. Let's make sure I hit my 25% mark. I think I'm doing pretty daggone good, though. I think I'm doing pretty daggone good. Here is my Too Faced Just Peachy palette. I love this Too Faced palette now. This palette is staying in my collection. You really need to pick up this palette if you do love the peach look. The packaging is absolutely beautiful on this. I said this is one of the prettiest packaging palettes I've got. It smells so nice. This peach sangria down here is one of the prettiest colors. Love, love, love that. And I get beautiful looks out of it. You know, you can go this way with your looks, across, you can go up and down. You can just get so many looks with this palette, and I love it. So that palette is definitely staying in my collection. Next is the Cargo Wanderlust palette. I bought this palette, I think I bought it at Ross's or TJ Maxx, and got a really good deal out of it because it had been swatched, and I have never used it. It's got two pretty greens in it, but I think this palette can find a home for somebody who can love it more than I can, because I've not shown it an ounce of love. But my Cargo Emerald City palette, I do love, and I will keep this palette. I think it's beautiful. It's got greens and browns, and it's about Seattle, and I love this palette, so I will be keeping this palette. So, that palette stays home. My Kat Von D 10th Anniversary palette, you all know that this palette's not going anywhere. I love this palette. I think it's beautiful. It's got my name in it. It's got my niece's names in it. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? Beautiful. Love that palette. I've even worn that blue, and you know I don't wear blue. So I love this palette. Keeping this baby. Bella, who you stalking? She's obviously stalking one of the other cats. I love this. I think this packaging was beautiful. Love this. Sleeping with this. Love this palette. I teased Eric and told her I was going to be buried with that palette. Okay, here is my first Lorac palette. This is the Lorac Pro to Go, and this made me like Lorac. This is a really good palette. On one side you have 6 eyeshadows. On the other side you have 2 blushes and a bronzer. And this is a really good palette. The formulation in this palette is wonderful. And this is what made me like Lorac. So I really do like this palette. So that palette is staying. This is my Winky Lux Kitten palette. And I love this palette. This shade right here is called Strut, and that is one of my favorite all-time transition shades. I love this little palette. And keeping that one. Here is my Milani Most Loved Mattes. I love this palette. And if you've not seen this, check it out at Walmart. I think there's 4 of these now, and I have got to check out the others. I've not checked those out yet. But I love this, and I would definitely repurchase that because it's just like the perfect little palette. And I'm keeping that one. Okay, so here are my 3 Z palettes. And I need to get another one for my Anastasia singles down here. Those are beautiful singles. And this is an Essence palette right here that I stepped on and broke the palette, so I put it in here. Those shades are beautiful. I really need to play around with them more and make sure that I really like them. If not, I probably need to get rid of them, but they are absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I'm keeping that right now. Definitely keeping the Anastasia. Here is an Ulta Beauty that has got Ulta Beauty and Urban Decay singles in it. I'm keeping that one. And here is one that has a bunch of, it's got 2 blushes, it's got a bunch of random things that I depotted, and it's also got the NYX Cosmic Metals and the NYX lid lingerie palettes in it, because I had bought those 3 palettes together, the NYX Cosmic Metal and the NYX lid lingerie and the Essence palette, and I had the bag and I accidentally stepped on it and broke all 3 of them. Only me. So I depotted them and put them in here, and need to get some more use out of those. Okay, grab these, and this will be the end of this video, and then I will go on to number 2. Here is the Bella collection by Giordano Colors. It has never even been opened, and beautiful colors, but I think I'm going to put that in my giveaway box. Here is a Too Faced I Love Pink palette, and I do think that's beautiful, so I do want to keep that palette. Here is the Dose of Colors by Juvia's Place. This is stunning. My niece Erica got me this, and let me show you. This is absolutely beautiful. She absolutely picked out the perfect palette for me. If you have never seen these colors used, they are gorgeous together. You can get a neutral eye look with the browns. You can get a beautiful pink look. I mean, there are so many looks you can get out of this palette. It's gorgeous. Juvia's Place. I've got to check out some more palettes from them. Gorgeous. Here is a neutral eye 28 color eyeshadow palette from BH Cosmetics that I bought. I've got so many other colors that look like this. I think I'm going to take this out of my collection, put this in the giveaway box. Here is a Carly Bible Deluxe Edition palette that I bought. After looking at this one, it's got all the bronzers and all these highlighters and stuff down here. I've got the first one. I prefer the first one over this one. Yes, I know. Most people, are you crazy? But I like the colors in the first one better than this one. So I'm going to put this one in my giveaway box. I've got a friend who's been wanting this one. I'm going to give this to her, and I'm going to keep the first one. So that is the end of part 1 of this. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up and a share. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Be sure to share the love, not the hate. And I do hope that you like this type of video. I'll have a part 2, so be sure to check for it. And I will let you know how many I got rid of. I think I've been doing pretty good, so I'm trying to get rid of 25%. I still have a lot to go through. So, yeah, look out for number 2. And let me get my camera over here. I'm sorry I have to do it a little clumsy. I had leg surgery, and I really can't get up and down very well to turn my camera on and off. So, I apologize.